all this mess over in Edomite. Giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Hashem Kakwadash. And this is a quote that I changed a little bit that King Marsha made at the Cornelius Council back in 1997 after the split. It was a council. We were brought to council because the Apostle Gabar had said that Cornelius was an Israelite. Now, maybe 6 months before that, maybe 6 months to a year before that, I was teaching a Monday class, and the high priest Shaw had called, and he wanted to ask me a question. I told the story before, and he asked me in the middle of my class, he asked me, do you think Cornelius is an Israelite? Because High Priest Ariah is saying that he thinks Cornelius is an Israelite. And if any of the priests, high priests, saw something spiritual, they would always ask me, what do I think about it? And I hung the phone up on Shaw. And because I'm in the middle of my class. I'm like, in the middle of my class, man, I don't want to hear that. And I believe Shaw had went back and told High Priest Ariah, yeah, Tahar wasn't having it, you know. And then the split came months later. And then it came up again. And it wasn't like Apostle Gabar came and saying, I'm going to start teaching that Cornelius is an Israelite. We were going into Acts, the 10th chapter, and he thought out loud. He just blurted out of his mouth. He said, yo, Cornelius is an Israelite. So it got back to Nate and the rest of Nate is short for Nathaniel, and certain other guys that have fell off, went back into the world. I mean, you know, they're Israelites, but they're not teaching anymore. But they basically sent spies to the class, and basically there was a council, and we showed. Well, it was Apostle Gabar that showed them in the scriptures, and I was going to speak, and I remember them saying, "Don't let Tahar speak because he's got a way of convincing people of things. So you don't want them to speak." And I remember formerly High Priest Lahab used to say that. He said, "Don't let Tahar speak because he has a way of convincing people. Don't let him say anything. He'll make you believe something that's not true." Anyway, with all that being said, Mo, King Marshall, we call him Mo. It was going back and forth with the Cornelius thing, and King Marshall said, all this mess over a cracker. And that same night we were kicked out. You know, we were like, look, y'all are kicked out of school, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I just did a video. Last video I did was on Tom Brady. You know, Tom Brady is an Israelite. Jake. So, you know, I'm looking at the comment section. And you got, you know, the brothers, the men of GMS saying, yep, he got to be a Jake. Yep, he's definitely a Jake. I mean, when you win, you know, you're on top of your game like that at the age of 43, and I read his diet. He has a special diet, which we kind of get into, the green smoothies and the you know, grass-fed chickens and the grass-fed organic cows and so forth, and he eats a lot of nuts and I guess juices, which we're into, quite a bit. I had made a batch of a green smoothie, and I put all kind of good stuff in there. The bases would either be kale, organic kale, or spinach, which represents the greens, which represents chlorophyll. I also add to it like a powdered form of greens. And so that's the main ingredient, along with walnuts, which contain omega-3s, good for the heart, cocoa, pure organic cocoa, turmeric, organic cinnamon, still cut oats, organic. And I drink that. If I drink anywhere from 8 to 12 ounces of that in the morning, I'm good if I forget to eat, because you took in the nutrients. When you crave to eat something, is your body craving nutrients, and you eat something that's not super nutritious, and then you're hungry 2 hours later. So I take in these nutrients. If I drink that 8, 9 in the morning, let's say, I don't got it, man, I'm good for the rest of the day. And I got to remind myself, I didn't eat nothing. Then I might eat something around about 5, 6 o'clock, which your last meal should be no later than 6 o'clock. Anyway, I'm a little all over the place. But you see here, and I'll leave the link in the description box. This is a video, because I was doing a little research on the Moors in Ireland, and the Moors had took over Ireland and Spain and southern Italy, and what they did was what they did was systematically gathered the men together, either put them in slavery or killed them, but they spared the woman. And that's in the scriptures. When the Israelites in the book of Numbers, they took over who's that? What was the group that they took over? I can go into it. I don't know if it was the Medes. I got to go back into it, but it's in the book of Numbers. And what they did was they killed the men off, and then they took the woman for themselves. When you go into that history, there was another case with Joab, which was the captain under King David. When you read about Hadad, the Edomite that fled because King David and Joab, they hated Esau. They were putting him to death. They enslaved him. And there was a point in time where King David had ordered Joab to kill all the Edomites. So when they killed all the Edomites, they spared the women. Why do you think they spared the woman? Because they were popping the woman. They were having babies with the woman. Same thing that the Moors did, which proves that the Moors are Israelites. Anyway, you see this individual. Okay, I'm going to leave this in the description box. This is from the Guardian. You don't have to look black to be black, the complex racial identity of a tiny Ohio town. So there's a woman telling the story, looked like an Edomite woman, but she said, I identify as being so-called black. So she's speaking about her mother, and she's speaking about her father, and that's her father right there. And they were saying that on his mother's side is Esau, but he said on his father's side is straight up black. But if you look at him, he looks like an Edomite. He looks like a so-called white person. You know, but you got to watch the video to see it. So it shouldn't be far-fetched that Tom Brady is an Israelite. And why do I say that? Because what he achieved in the sport of football, winning how many Super Bowls? I believe 7. You know, when you go to the comment section of that video that I put up on Tom Brady, the ones that said, oh, he's a white man, he ain't no Israelite, you know, you didn't prove nothing. When you click on those guys, go to their pages, there's nothing on there. So they're spiritually weak. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.